So this video is going to be a hunting video. I haven't posted one in a while. It's going to be a hunting story video of the biggest buck I've ever seen. Now I'm pretty tired. It's like 11:30 at night, so I'm not going to be real excited. I'm not going to be jumping around the room, because I'm pretty tired. So first thing I want to do is going to do the shout out thing that I was talking about in my last video, and I'd never post another video to do it. So the shout out this week goes to my cousin. He's making his first YouTube channel, named it Mr. Bass Fishing, all capital letters. He will do bass fishing, obviously, and I'm basically teaching him how to bass fish, and he's learning how to bass fish. He's caught some bass before, but he's never really used a lot of the lures like I use. He's never used a whopper plop or anything like that. So I'm going to basically teach him a lot of bass fishing stuff that I know. So make sure you guys go check his channel out. Where me and him are going to actually go fishing this Saturday up at the pond that we usually go to. Me and you guys, the camera. We usually go to, I guess you could say. He's only been there once, and the one time he went up there was bluegill fishing. He caught a bunch of big bluegill, and then he lost them. And I know he's going to be watching this video, so I'm gonna put that in there, because I always joke about that to him. He lost, I think it was 4 or 5 bluegill on a stringer. You let go of the stringer. So sorry, Lyndon. I had to tell you that joke. But anyway, so this story is going to be. Oh wait, I forgot. The other channel that I was going to do is the Texas Roadrunner. His channel does a lot of unboxings, like lure unboxings, and also does a lot of humor videos, funny videos and stuff like that. So make sure you go check his channel out too. So the first little part of this story is in the summer of 2016. I think it was about in May. No, actually, I think it was more in August. Actually, about this time of year. Buck still had velvet on. We was coming back up here from doctor's appointment down south, and we seen this deer out in the bean field. And I told my mom, I said, "Hey, Mom, look at that big old doe out there," because I couldn't see the head. And it lifted up its head. That thing had a rack. It was the craziest looking rack I've ever seen. And I'm talking like, I've seen some crazy looking racks at like Bass Pro Shops stuff. And this looked like it would be seen in there. I mean, this thing had points going everywhere. And one thing I noticed about it was it wasn't very wide. It was like it was probably about 16 or 18 inches wide. And it wasn't real wide. But this thing was really tall. I'm telling you, it probably had 12-inch tines. It was real tall. Oh, excuse me, I burped. It had real tall tines, and it had points going everywhere. Kickers, drop tines, stickers. I mean, that deer had everything. Crazy looking deer. We took some pictures of it. They weren't the best quality pictures. And that was back before I started this YouTube channel, so I couldn't take a video of it, post it, or anything like that. But it was a crazy looking deer. It was out in the bean field eating beans. Pretty cool. But now I'll tell you about the biggest typical buck I've ever seen while deer hunting. Now this was in November. It was either the 20th, 21st, or 23rd. One of those days. One of those few days. I don't exactly remember which one, because all 4 days I seen a lot of deer in those 4 days, and I don't remember exactly which one it was. So it basically all started real early in the morning. I was going to go to the stand where I killed the 12-pointer a couple weeks before that, but there was a tree over the road, so I couldn't go to it because there was a big storm on the 20th, and we couldn't go, or I couldn't go through there. And so I decided that I was going to go back and go to the other stand. I've killed 2 does out of this stand, and no, I've never really seen any big bucks out of the stand. So I got to the stand. I keep saying we. There wasn't nobody with me. I guess maybe I'm talking about you guys, but you guys wasn't with me. I don't know. But I went to the stand, And I got up in the stand, I put my bow on the hook, and I was sitting there for a while. I didn't see nothing. I seen one little button buck. I believe it was a button buck. Either that or it was a small doe. And it walked by and it kind of ran off back down Southway. And then all of a sudden I hear some rustling. I heard some rustling. It would be back over here where I'm standing at, but it would basically be sort of the north, or no, it would be the southeastern part of that woods. And I could hear it, and it seemed like it was a ways away, and I thought, okay, it's probably just a squirrel, because, I'm sure if you guys have ever hunted in the woods like around here, little 3-pound squirrel sounds like a 250-pound 8-point world record buck. Them things are loud. And so then it got kind of closer and got kind of closer, and I thought, you know what, since I ain't seen no deer or nothing, I'll try to shoot that squirrel, see if my bow's still on. So I get ready to turn my head, and it sounds like it's running. It sounds all of a sudden it gets real loud, bunch of leaves rustling. So I turned my head kind of quick to see what it was, and here comes this big old doe running straight at the tree, running straight towards the tree. And it stops about 20 yards, and I look behind it, and there's this cool looking 7-point. Now this 7-point has got a really neat looking rack on him. And, a pretty cool, really massive rack, but wasn't real wide and wasn't super tall. Probably about 9 inches was about the biggest tine. But it was really massive, and I have no clue how old this deer was, because the rack looked like an older deer, but the body language and stuff looked like a really young deer, like 2 or maybe 3.5, or 2.5 to 3. But I was really confused, so I wasn't going to shoot the deer because I'd already got that one big one, and I wanted to take a good sized deer. So I'm sitting over here, and I see this deer, and then both of them, the doe and the buck, both turn their heads and look behind them. I'm thinking, oh, there's something else. So I look to where they're looking, and up over this little hill comes the biggest buck I've ever seen. And it was typical deer, and I guarantee you, from what I've seen from TV shows, this deer, I'm going to guarantee you guys, and when I say I'm going to guarantee you, I'm telling the honest truth. I guarantee you guys this deer was at least over 180. I mean, this deer was tall. Big 12-inch tall tines, really wide. I'm going to say probably close to a 23, 24 inch long inch spread. Very big deer. And really wide, really tall, and it was normal mass, but it wasn't real massive, but it was if you guys have ever seen an Illinois buck, what we call around here a big Illinois buck, that's what this deer looked like. This deer looked like you took from Google, you Google big Illinois whitetails, you find a big wide one that's got real tall tines, and that was it. It looked just like it looked like exactly what you think of when you're talking about Illinois and big bucks. And it was an awesome looking deer. He stood there at 50 yards and wouldn't come any closer. That doe walked off, and he walked off. I got to watch his rack just walk right out of my life. And I ain't seen him since. And as far as I know, ain't nobody killed him. Because if somebody killed a buck like that around here, we would have definitely heard about it, unless somebody poached it, which sadly we have a lot of poachers around here. And people shooting them out of windows, people shooting them with high-powered rifles at night. It's awful, but law won't do nothing. They won't around here. They won't do nothing. So I guess that's just the way the cards are dealt. It sucks for us hunters that are actually trying to go out there and hunt for food, and that's what we do. We hunt for food, but it's always pretty cool when you get to see a big buck, and you always want to try to kill a big buck, even if you are just meat hunting, but that's the way card goes, or way cards are dealt. I've seen a lot of people on hunting shows and stuff get big giant bucks walk right out of their lives. I've seen a guy watch a 200-incher walk right out of his life. Somebody over on the neighbor's property killed him. That would suck. That'd be so bad. And the reason why I didn't take that 50-yard shot, because I knew that if I hit him at that distance, I wasn't going to hit him where I wanted, because I can't shoot at that distance. You know, I shoot okay at 40, you know, but 40 is really my limit. Anything past 40, I wouldn't shoot, and he was standing there at 50, and I didn't want to wound the deer and then somebody find him, you know, half a year later or something like that, you know, or wound him and then he comes back and he's got a weird looking rack and all that stuff, you know. And, you know, best case scenario, if I would have shot at him, I would have missed, you know, or I would have hit where I wanted to. And I really don't think that would have happened, because I'm not really sighted in at 50. But I'm going to do a lot more hunting videos. Not really going out and hunting anything, because hunting season don't come in for another 2 months. But I'm going to do a lot more outdoor stuff. Not really. I'm going to still do fishing, but I'm going to do some planting food plots, shooting my bow, going out and possibly setting up a tree stand, because I got a new tree stand. I got a really good spot. I'm going to set it. So looking forward to sitting in that stand. It's actually a spot where an older guy used to hunt back before he died. He used to hunt that stand, and you could see some of the old boards and stuff where he used to hunt at, and he would always kill deer every year. And so, you know, it might work out pretty good. You know, might be sitting in, I'm probably going to be sitting in the exact same tree that he was. And, you know, who knows? I could kill a deer out of the same stand he killed bucks out of. Hard to say. But I hope you guys like this video. If you do, make sure you like the video and comment if you guys like these hunting videos. You know, if you want to see some of my bow shooting. I think later on next week I'm going to talk about the other buck, or I'm going to talk about my bow. You know, show you guys what I use for arrows and stuff like that. Let me know down in the comments what you guys want to do. You know, there's some people that was wanting me to do the oversized lure challenge from my 50 subscriber video. That will happen. They won't bite big worms right now. I don't know why. They're just wanting to bite finesse stuff. So that will happen. I think that it's really going to work good when it's fall, when they're feeding up. So that will happen, and I will make a video of it. I don't know exactly when, though. So expect that in the future. Thanks for watching. I got to pick up the camera and turn it off now. Thanks for watching, though.